Okay, for number 2, the perimeter of two concentric circles, that means they share a center, are in the ratio of 2 to 3. Two radii making an angle of 60-degree intercept a portion of the circular ring. There's going to be a ring if there's two concentric circles, equal to an area of 120 square inches. Find the radii of the circles. All right? So go to the whiteboard. And the first thing I should say blackboard today. The first thing I want to do is I want to, certainly, I read the problem. I just can't remember all the details of it, but I do know there's two circles, and they share a center. So that's one circle. This is another circle over here. All right? They share a center. They're concentric. They share a center. What do they say? They say, the two radii making an angle of 60 degrees. So I put this down over here. This is one radii. I'll call it R. Well, there's going to be two of them, so I'm going to say this is R1, and this will be R2. All right, that's R2. R2 is the bigger circle. So R1 is a radius, and R2 is bigger than R1. All right? So let me put down R2 now. And again, I'm going to extend this one over here. All right? Now, I'm just reading it again. It says the perimeter. Oh, it says the angle 60 degrees over here. So the theta is 60 degrees, which is pi over 3. All right? Let's keep reading it. It says the perimeter of the two concentric circles. Well, you know what? I can write the perimeter down now. So the perimeter of the big circle is going to be 2 pi R2. And the perimeter of the small circle is 2 pi R1. Perimeter is the circumference. And they claim it's in a ratio of 2 to 3. So I'm going to say 3 because the big circle is 3, and that's a 2. So let me just cancel this off, and I'll write this down now. So R2, that's the radius, by the way, over R1 is in a ratio of 3 over 2, which means 2 R2 is equal to 3 R1. All right, let me keep reading. They say the intercept is the circular ring, and I want to point out what the ring is. This is the ring over here. All right, that's the ring. Now, of course, I'm just doing a section of the ring, and they said a section of that ring is 120 square inches. All right, so I'll put the area of that guy over there, and the area of it is 120 square inches. So I'm going to write down what that is to me, and it's going to be, let's write this over here. The area of a sector is going to be 1/2 theta radius squared. So let's do the big sector first. So 1/2, what's the theta going to be? Pi over 3. And then it's going to be times the big R squared, and that's going to be, that's R2, by the way. I forgot to put that over there. It's going to be R2 squared minus the small guy. So let's put this down. 1/2 pi over 3. And that's going to be R1 squared. Well, let me see if I can figure this out a little bit anyway. So 120 is going to be pi over 6. R2 squared minus pi over 6 R1 squared. Right, I'm going to multiply both sides by 6 over pi. So you get 6 over pi times 120 equals, I got to multiply both sides by 6 over pi. You're going to get R2 squared minus R1 squared. All right, now certainly the question is, I have to find the radii of the circle, and I think I can do that now. And I'll tell you why I can do that. I'm looking at this over here, and I get a relationship between R1 and R2. So I'm going to write this over here as 6 times 120 over pi. And let's just do R2 now. So R2 squared minus, well, what's R1 in terms of R2? Well, that's going to be 2/3. I'm getting this from over here, by the way. So R1 would equal 2/3 of an R2. And that's going to be squared. I got to work this out now. I'm going to get 6 times 120. We'll do that later, by the way, over pi. And, r2 squared just going to be r2 squared, right? Minus, this is going to be 4r2 squared over 9. Common of 9. And what are you going to get there? You can get 9r2 squared minus 4r2 squared. Let's keep moving. 6 times 120 over pi. This can be 9. And 9 minus 4 is 5, so it's 5r2 squared. And I think I'm getting pretty close. So 6 times 120 times 9 over 5 pi equals r2 squared. I got to simplify this, don't I? And let's take a look at that. So I'm going to say, 5 goes into 120 24 times. All right, I'm going to keep looking at this. I want to kind of write down, it's 6. And 24 I'm going to write down as 6 times 4 times 9. And that's over pi. And that's equal to r2 squared. Right, what I'm going to do now, the square root of both sides. And you're going to get this over here, the square root. It's a positive number, by the way. That's 6 squared, by the way. And then, 4 is 2 squared, and 9 is 3 squared. And then get a pi over here. And that's going to be r2 now. All right, what do you get over here? Square root of 6 is 6. The square root of 2 is 2. The square root of 3 is 3. And that's over the root of pi. And that's going to be r2. Let's just multiply that out. You get 36 over root pi is r2. And I think I need to get r1 now, right? Now, someone says, what's r1? I think we were talking about that before, right? A long problem, isn't it? So r1 is going to be 2/3 of r2. So r1 is 2/3 of r2. And they're asking for this, by the way. So r1 is going to be 2/3 of, let's see, 36. And that's going to be root pi. 3 goes into 36 12 times. So you get 24 over the root of pi. Let me just go back over the question, make sure they asked for that. And let me make sure they did ask for that. They did. They said, find the radius of the circle. We're done. Thank you.